Hello and welcome. In this video part series, we're going to be working through 11 tips and tricks for Windows 11. So of course, I'm going to be working from this PDF, as you can see here. We're going to start with this first task or this first tip, and we're going to work our way through this entire PDF resource, aligning these videos with this resource document. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive right in. All right, tip number one, we're going to move the start button in Taskbar. So first we can bring our attention to the taskbar along the bottom here. We're going to right click and then we can select Taskbar settings. Once this dialog box or window opens here, we just need to locate taskbar behaviors, which is right here. We can select this option and we notice taskbar alignment. We can click the drop down where it shows center, and let's bring our attention to the bottom screen now. We see how it's centrally located here. So once we select left, it'll shift everything over to the left, just as we had with Windows 10. If you prefer, you can go ahead and leave the option as left and just close out. Or of course, if you would prefer to leave the center option, which I do like the center option, so I'm going to move it back and I'm going to click out. All right, that's it for tip one. Tip number two, we're going to enable the dark mode. So to do this, we can do this a few different ways. However, we're going to utilize a shortcut key of Windows, and then we're going to select the I. So Windows, and then select the character I. From here, we need to select personalization, so we can move over to this left side here. Select personalization. Then we need to locate the colors option, so right here. And from here, we have choose your mode. So from here, we are currently in the light mode. We can select dark, or if you prefer a mix between the two, you can go into custom and then set those preferences. For instance, your window mode you can select as dark, and for the app mode you can select as light. So you can see these options here. This is light, however our taskbar does still remain in the dark mode. So this would be the window and this would be the application. However, I'm going to just drop it back into light mode just for the sake of the video tutorial. And of course, once you're finished, whichever option you select, the light, dark, or custom, you can just click X. That will save those setting changes for you. And that's it for tip number two. Tip number three, we're going to teach you how to use snap layouts within Windows 11. This is by far one of my most favorite features that they have in Windows 11. So to do this, I do have a few items opened up. So I have Notepad opened. Of course, I'm utilizing the software for Camtasia for this video. And as well, I do have 3 tabs opened inside of Google Browser. So for this, you can open the browser, you can open a few different applications. But what we're going to do is I'm going to select into one of these tabs. And if we hover above the minimize, maximize option, you'll see that we have these template options. This is going to show us how we can dissect our screen, so that way we can share more windows on the same screen. And from here, we can actually just drop into this template and we can actually select what we want to pop into each one of these frames here. So if I want the Notepad here, great. And then I can do another browser tab here. However, if I prefer to maybe do Google on this side and the Notepad option on this side, I can come back up here and we can just split. What's nice is I can actually split these two and rescale if I wish, from left to right. Or of course, we're going to go back in. We're going to pick this 4 option. And let's just grab each item in each window. What I like about this one is that you can actually resize from the center here, which rescales all of these. So of course, if you just need the bottom, great. If you just need the top, no big deal. And no different from left to right. and it rescales all 4 windows. Hands down, one of my favorite features that they offer within Windows 11. Tip number 4, we're going to show you how to use voice typing feature. So for this particular tutorial, we're going to need to open our Notepad or Word document. We need to select within that document or Notepad. And then to start the voice typing feature, we're going to utilize the shortcut key of the Windows key plus the H character. Once you press both of those, the voice typing feature will start automatically. So as it's activated, you can begin speaking and you'll see that your voice to text will transcribe on your Notepad document, so on and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. We're going to do the Windows key H. As we see in the lower center of the screen, we do have that voice typing feature activated. And as we look on our Notepad, we do see that our voice typing is being transcribed. Now to end this feature, you can select the Windows key plus H again, and that will stop the voice typing feature. And that's it for tip number 4. Tip number 5. We're going to show you how we can customize our start menu. So first, let's go ahead and come down to the start button here. We're going to click it, and we see that we have these applications pinned in our start menu, which is fine because that just means it's easier for us to locate when we click into our start button. However, if there's any one of these options up here that we do not necessarily want, we can actually right click it, and then we can do unpin from start. So for instance, let's do unpin Microsoft Store. I'm going to unpin from start, and as you'll see, it removes it. Likewise, I'm going to go ahead and unpin the Disney Plus, and we'll see that it removes it. As you see here, we have these 2 bubbles, so we have 2 screens that we can scroll through. And let's scroll back. Now, if there's anything in here that I would like to add, let's just say, for instance, this Adobe Acrobat right here. I can actually right click on this application and I can do pin to start. We can go back into our start menu, scroll down here, and awesome, we found that Adobe is located in there. However, you can actually go a step further, and if you would prefer to organize these a bit, so let's just state I want to do before the Notepad. Perfect, I can organize that. Or of course, I can combine a few of these together, as these are all Microsoft tools. And last but not least, you can select this for a quick move to front option, and we can see it puts itself at the very front. All right, that's it. Tip number 6, we're going to show you how to work with the focus feature. Now, to access the focus feature, we can use the shortcut key of the Windows plus the character I. So we can hit both of those at the same time. As our window loads here, we need to go to the left-hand side and locate System. We can select System. And from here, we need to locate Focus. And the focus feature is going to work best for us if we're trying to work through a task, or of course trying to complete a task without further disruptions. So as you can see currently in the drop down here, we do have that it will show the timer in a clock app. It will hide badges in the taskbar, as well hide flashing on the taskbar, and then it will automatically turn us over to a do not disturb mode. If you want to go in and customize some of those settings, you can click notifications, and you can work through here to set your customized settings. We're going to move back. We're going to select focus one more time. And like I said, these are default selections. You can uncheck any of these if you wish. And of course, to customize those selections, you can come into notifications here. We're going to set our timer for about 20 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and hit start focus. And as you see, we have the focus timer up in the right-hand corner of our clock app. And if we want, we can actually minimize this settings background. And to make this a bit larger, you can actually select this icon here. And as you see, we do have a larger window. And to minimize, we can minimize here. All right, that's it. Tip 7. We're going to show you how to create multiple workspaces, or what they dub as virtual desktops. Now to do this, we can actually select the Windows key plus tab. When we do this, we're actually going to be given a view to show what all options or applications we currently have open at this time. And then as well, on the bottom, if you see here, we have desktop 1. So that's currently the desktop that we're working in. And then we have this option of new desktop. So we can actually select this to have a new desktop. And of course, we can come in here and we're going to hit the Windows tab one more time. The only item that's going to carry over here for me is going to be the software that I'm using for this video tutorial. However, we're going to click back out, and let's just say I want to open, let's do Notepad. We're going to open Notepad. So of course I have Notepad opened here. We're going to do Windows tab one more time. Now we see we have the Notepad in this view. Let's click into desktop 1. We'll see that in this view, we have the software of Camtasia running only on desktop 1, and on desktop 2 we have our Notepad plus the software for this tutorial. So if we want to create different desktops for different environments, we can. That meaning if there's a specific set of tools and or tabs that we utilize for one specific task, we could set that in desktop 1, for instance. And then if we utilize a different set of tools and different tabs for a different task, we can set that environment up in desktop 2. And if you wish to close out of any of these, we just want to click back in. We'll close out of this. We'll do our Windows tab option, and then of course we can close out. However, if we want to go back and forth between this desktop and the previous desktop, we can do so by holding the Windows key and the Control key. Sorry about that. Windows key, Control, and then we can go left to right. So as you see here, it's shifting from desktop 1 as we saw in the center, and desktop 2 as it's showing here. We're going to go back one more time. Desktop 1 and desktop 2. All right. And then Windows tab will open that view back up. We're going to close out of desktop 2, which will bring us back to desktop 1. And that's it. Tip 8. We're going to show you how we can pin applications to the taskbar. So of course, let's take a look at our taskbar here. We do have quite a few applications shown along the bottom. However, let's just state we want Adobe Acrobat on our taskbar. I can right click on that item. And from here, we just need to locate the Pin to Taskbar option. And if we can't locate it, then what we need to do is come in here to the search bar. We're going to type in Adobe, and then we actually can find this option here, Pin to Taskbar. We're going to pin it. And then of course, if we choose that we wish to remove, we can actually right click on that option and unpin from taskbar. And that's it. Tip 9. We're going to show you how to connect a Bluetooth device. For this example, I'm going to attempt to connect a wireless Bluetooth headset. And to do so, we can actually start by utilizing the Windows key and the character of I as our shortcut option. This opens up our Windows settings. And from here, we need to go to Devices. So we're going to type in devices. And then we have the option of Bluetooth and other device settings. Now from here, we want to make certain that the Bluetooth option is turned on, which we do have it currently on. Next, we need to click Add Device. Then we need to select Bluetooth. And from here, we just need to make certain that the device we want to connect is also powered on. And that is this option here. And sometimes you may need to produce a pairing code between the two devices. And then sometimes you will not. So in this particular instance, I was able to select the device. It did connect, and now I can select Done. As we can see here, my Bluetooth wireless headset is connected via Bluetooth to my laptop device. And that's it. Tip number 10. We're going to show you how to connect a printer using a USB cable. So of course, at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have your printer powered on, plugged in, and connected to your device by a USB cable. So from here, first thing we need to do is we can open up our settings by using the Windows key and the character I. We're going to press both of those at the same time. And from here, we're going to go over to our search bar. We're going to type in devices and enter. Then we're going to scroll down to printers and scanners. From here, we need to see if we locate our device, which mine is going to be an HP M402 to 404, which I do not see here. So I do have it connected by USB. I'm going to go ahead and select Add Device. And we're going to wait just a moment here. All right. And now that we've waited for our devices to load, we can scroll down and we see that we have our HP LaserJet M402 403. We can select this, and from here we can of course come into printer properties if we would like to rename the printer. So we're going to select printer properties, wait just a moment. And from here in this top bar, we're going to go ahead and provide it a name. I'm just going to use a basic name of Home Printer. And we can go back to printers and scanners by selecting this option here. And if we look in our list, we can see we have Home Printer right here. And that's it. Tip number 11. We're going to show you how to check for and perform Windows updates. So to start, we're going to utilize the shortcut key of the Windows key plus the character letter I at the same time. This will open our Windows settings. And from here in the search bar, we're going to go ahead and type updates. So we can do Windows updates. And then from here, we can do two different things. First, we're going to check for any updates for our device. We can select this button here. As you can see, it's going to start checking for these updates for this particular device. This may take anywhere from 30 seconds to a couple minutes, just depending. All right. Now that our device has checked for updates, we can see that we do have a few Windows updates here. We have a cumulative update, which is for the month of October. And then we have some additional updates for our peripherals. Scrolling down, we do have what's called advanced options. While these run, we're going to go ahead and select this option here. And then from here, we're going to locate the optional updates. Now, if you're having any additional issues with external devices, maybe a printer, keyboard, mouse, webcam, any other additional peripherals, You can come into these items here where it shows driver updates, and you can actually download those additional updates if you're having issues with particular external devices. For instance, if I were having issues with my printer, I could come in here and perform this driver update. And as well, if I were having issues with any other media devices, webcams, microphones, so on and so forth, I could come in here and perform this update as well. And minimize this. We do have other updates. We can select this. This is going to be pertinent typically to either security and or cumulative updates as well as firmware. So if you need these, which we typically do, we're going to select this option here, and then we can do download and install. We'll come back to this main page, and you can see all of our updates, the ones that we previously had, are still running, and the one that we've approved on additional is also running in the background. You can always minimize this while you continue to work on your device. However, typically with cumulative as well as security updates, you may be prompted to perform a restart. So once we actually finish with the downloading of the update and installing the update, you will be prompted to restart the device from a button located here. All right, that's it.